What's going on, y'all? This is part three, my last part. Um, the sun rises. Good afternoon. I am Chocolate AMUN-RA. This is the third part of my series. Basically, I like to speak from the top of my chakra, all on a natural realm. Okay, even though I do my studies and do my research, sometimes I like to just speak to the audience or to the people on a natural plane to see where everybody's head is at. I told you I do many different things. Okay, the last thing I spoke about on part two was based on how do certain people when they do their pilgrimage and how they do their research and when they're going doing their diggings. Some people on a higher frequency than others. Higher frequency does not mean that you are smarter than another person. It just means that you've done more studying and you're more knowledgeable, you're more education, you're a little bit more education. Because if I never studied mathematics, hypothetically, if I didn't study mathematics and my last mathematics studies, let's say it was a 5th grade level, and then you started talking about physics and all so on and so forth, how I'm going to know about physics if I'm not studying my math only past the 5th grade? Do that make you on a higher frequency level? Yes, it does. It means that you have studied farther than I have. So, going back into what I'm basically saying, excuse me, it's not about who's smarter than who. That's why you will always hear me say, do your research. Do your research, you'll be able to understand some of the philosophies that I'm speaking upon. If you read certain books, you will begin to open up the channels in your body, which is mainly the mind. There's certain keys in the mind, not physically, but spiritually, keys that will unlock your mind to be able to flow in any direction that you choose to do so. Anyone has the capability to do this because we are created in the Supreme Being's image. We are created in the image of the Supreme Being, the God. And we are children of the gods. We can say one God. Some people say it's one God. Some people say they're black gods. But that's another story. But today, I really want to just come across and to let y'all know that sometimes it's best to free think. Free think means you just freely start to speak. Speak on your mind on what you're studying, what has been around you, the evidence that you've seen from your eyes and your ears, the evidence that you also touched with your hand, the evidence that your experience of life, of what you've done in your life. This is evidence. This is documents that's in your brain that you'll be able to hold a conversation. It doesn't have to mean that when you're holding a certain conversation, the person's frequency is not on the same level field as you. Don't ever get intimidated by that. If the person sounds very highly intelligent, listen here. If you be quiet and don't get intimidated, you'll be able to hear exactly what they're talking about. Because you can use certain words to speak on that same frequencies and be able to identify what he or she is talking about. Never let a person, when they're speaking to you, intimidate you. That's number one. If they start talking very highly intelligent and basically is using big words. Anybody can use big words. Anybody can go into a dictionary, find big words, and guess what? They use them. Do this make you more intelligent? Do this make you better than me? Do this make you think that you have more information than I do? Per se. But in reality, no. Like I said before, and I'll say it again. Wherever you put your foot down and begin your journey, no one knows that, only you. Okay? Don't be intimidated by big words. Don't be intimidated by people talking fast. Okay. Now, when a person starts to pick up speed and they talking fast, it's because their chi has now picked up speed. The power of their chi is starting to pick up. You understand? It's your power. So the flow that's in them is beginning to flow back and forth, and it's picking up speed. And then it's almost that you think that they're getting hyper. You thinking this person's going crazy, but they're not. It's that the chi inside them is flowing faster and faster and faster. But if they're holding that conversation, and that conversation is still intelligent, and it sounds correct, if you're on that same frequency. But if it don't sound correct, it doesn't mean they wrong. Remember I told you, there's many words in the vocabulary. All of them is not going to fit what you're thinking or what you're saying. This is why I told you before. It's good to do your research. So when you hear someone speaking, I don't care if it's an old speaker, a new speaker, it doesn't matter. They're not that they're wrong, it's that you're not on their frequency. Once again, quote unquote, you're not on their level of education. But if you listen clearly, you can understand it. It's almost in the same of language. When somebody's speaking Spanish, right? If you paying attention and listening clearly, you identify if they're talking about you or not. But if you close your ears, it's because you don't want to understand. Cállate la boca. Those who speak Spanish will know what I just said. I just told you to shut up. You understand? Siéntate. I just told you to sit down. Uno, dos, cuatro. 1, 2, 3. You understand? You start to see sometimes in certain words in Spanish, they cannot use it in Spanish, so they have to use it in English. This is where your ears come from, if you're paying attention. And this is where you can catch on to their frequency. Also, the body movement of an individual. There's certain body movements will also allow you to know where they're coming from with their conversation. I just use this for example. So don't ever get intimidated by somebody. Don't get intimidated by someone that's speaking. You take your time and you listen. And it's not about trying to find out if they're right or wrong. That's where you'll make your mistake. Don't sit up there and try to see if you can find if they're making a mistake. This is where we have a lot of problems at. We want to sit up there to see if they're on the same educational level or frequency. If a person haven't read the books that you read, and the person haven't watched or done any studies that you haven't, that doesn't mean they don't know what they're talking about. It's the same thing vice versa. If I haven't read the books and studies and what you study, doesn't mean I'm stupid. No, it's just I haven't read those books. Maybe they wasn't in my qualification. Maybe I didn't care for it. But if you say something like this, for example, my brother, have you ever studied Bobby Hemmett? And if I go, who's Bobby Hemmett? Well, Bobby Hemmett, he's a good scholar. Watch this DVD. My brother, have you ever watched Phil Valentine? Great historian, great scholar. Breaks it down very well. Well, now you give me a chance to be able to be on the same level field, on the same level field that you are. Because now you gave me information that I can use, and I can go get this information. And if I can't get the information, I will humbly ask, can you tell me how to get this information? But if you're trying to find out who's better than who and who's got more knowledge, that's kiddish games. That's kiddish games, basically. It's not about who's got more knowledge. It's let's trade information. And then I like to do, don't interpretate from the book, to interpret inward to see where your spirituality has grown over the years. Has your flesh humbled itself? That's what I like. If you can interpret without using the Bible, without using any kind of your books, and put yourself in that realm, and then be able to speak in another tongue. Some people say like that. Or I can use it in an English term. I'll start saying things that don't make sense to you. It just happened to be in an English version. Y'all understand this? So when you out there, my brothers and sisters, when you are out there, don't get intimidated by nobody. Just listen. But don't be one of those silly brothers or sisters be talking about, oh, that's not how that go. Don't be one of those brothers and sisters that now you think you got to break that person down. You don't know how far they went on their pilgrimage. You don't know how far they went on their studies. You don't know how far or information they really giving it to you. They might just be giving you a little bit of information just to see if you're trying to be one of them slick-ass brothers or sisters that try to dilute them. Don't do it to yourself. The whole process of this transformation for our people, whoever gets it, whoever is awoken, and then you move on. That's what this whole process is about. When the gods in them come back, and they are, and the supreme being God, when the doors open up, you be prepared. And if you die before that, you still be prepared. Why? Because you have trained your mind, you trained your flesh, you trained your soul to let it flow on the natural realm that it's going to go to. All the TV sets, all these funny ass books that you be reading, all these wild ass sexual stuff you'll be doing, and all that drugs and stuff, that's what get you delusion and get you caught up. And if you pass away before your mind, your body, and your spirit is linked to one so it can flow naturally, I don't know what to say, but I don't know what to say because you're going places where you're not supposed to go to. You can go wherever you want, but I'm just stating to you on a natural flow, as I'm flowing naturally right now. What it is, my chi is flowing like this here. So I am speaking to you on another realm. I am here by the flesh, but my deity is speaking from another realm. Anyone can do it. I'm not speaking from no books. I'm not speaking from no documentaries. I am grasping from the frequencies that's around me. I'm taking it. If you notice how my eyes is constantly shifted because I'm pulling, you're only seeing the image. This is the image that you're seeing. So what I'm doing inside is pulling from the frequencies and the knowledge that's out in the cosmos. Yes, I said the cosmos. Because it's all out there. The universe. Everything is out there. So, my brothers and sisters, don't be intimidated when you do your studying. And I know some of y'all probably saying, well, you bash Christianity, you bash the Jesus conception. It's not that I bash the conception of Jesus Christ, it's that it's a lie. And a lot of my brothers and sisters that's following this conception is wrong. It is wrong for them to do it. This is not who you are. And you should try to find out who you are. That's why a lot of y'all lost. Okay? You lost because you're following the wrong doctrine. You're following the wrong deity. You truly believe that this white man that is your God. You don't even believe that you have a black God. Or you could be a God on earth yourself and you are here to deliver a message. You don't want to believe that. So you rather sit down in your church, turn to the scriptures with the preacher or whoever's speaking to you, and follow it and keep it going. And said, I'm behaving properly. I'm doing the right thing. I'm in church 3 or 4 days a week. I'm doing right. And then you ask yourself why I got problems. Why I'm dealing with all these problems. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But the fact is you ain't got no problems. That's on another time. That's on another time. I'm not going to let that secret out. I'm not going to let that secret out. You ain't got no problems. I'm going to tell you what. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm 49. I know what you're thinking. That's it. I am Chocolate AMUN-RA. I hope you enjoy the message today with 3 different parts. Peace.